everyone, in today's video we're going to talk a little bit about persuasion and some principles of persuasion. And this is all based upon some common questions I've been getting actually in my DMs on different platforms over the last few months, over the times that I've been making the reaction and breakdown videos of persuasions of, all the top public figures of Andrew Tate, Iman Gadzhi, some of the SMMA gurus. And this question says, you have mentioned a lot of people use bots on YouTube. Why don't you use bots yourself to grow your YouTube channel? And I've received different variations of that question. And I thought rather than replying, I'll go into a bit of detail here and go into, some of the reasons why I don't use it myself and why it can actually be ineffective and goes against what you actually want, which is to build up trust. So I'm going to talk a little bit about social proof. I'm looking at my little list here. I'm also going to talk a little bit about something called game theory as well. And game theory is a bit of a complex subject, but I'm going to break it down because if you understand it, you'll be much more strategical in business, in your marketing, in your persuasion as well. You'll be able to make decisions better. It's a fascinating subject and they all kind of fit together when you're trying to learn persuasion and trying to learn, strategy as well. So let's start off, right? What is social proof? Social proof is a persuasion technique. And basically what social proof is that you as a human will look towards the decisions and behaviors of other people to make your own decision. So let me give you a practical example of this. Let's say you as a person have the choice between, this is you right here, choosing between chocolate bar 1 and chocolate bar 2. You have no idea which chocolate bar you want to pick, but you do definitely fancy a chocolate bar, all right? So you got chocolate bar 1, chocolate bar 2. Which one do you pick? Well, at the moment, the odds are 50-50 in terms of which one you pick. You're not entirely sure. But let's add another factor to this. Let's say that nobody chooses this chocolate bar here, but you already know that a bunch of your friends have all chosen this chocolate bar here. And now we ask you the question again. What chocolate bar do you want to choose to eat? You will most likely choose this chocolate bar here because it has been social proofed. And social proofed means previous people have made the decision to go with chocolate bar number 2. And that right there is a very simple way of understanding social proof. And social proof can be applied in the form ethically, like testimonials on products, reviews on products, actually visually watching a group of people select something and not select something else. You will then feel compelled to also choose that thing or take that action. That is social proof, and it's a good way of influencing behavior. And the reason why social proof happens is because life is actually, as you know, being a human being is incredibly complex. We have to make decisions all the time, and often we save energy by just looking at what other decisions people have made before you and then just following their decisions. That's basically what it comes down to. It goes all the way back to evolution because time and energy, these are scarce resources, and you don't want to just be spending it all willy-nilly, right? But social proof is so powerful that it can actually get you to change your decision on very, very easy subjects. So for instance, let's just say we have 3 people here and you are person number 3. And there is a single person who's publicly asking you questions. Let's just call him the experimenter. And the person who asks all 3 of you questions says a very simple question. And that question could be, what's 1 + 1? Right, which is obviously 2. And he's coming down the line to ask each of you individually what the answer to this question is. And you can all hear each other's responses. And you assume the number is 2. And when he gets to you, you will absolutely say the number 2 because that's what the answer is. However, participant 1 is an actor. Participant 2 is also an actor as well. These 2 are in on the psychology experiment. And what happens is when the experimenter asks what's 1 + 1 to participant 1 here, they say 3. And then participant 2 also says 3. And then the question moves over to you right now. And you right now are starting to doubt that the answer is actually 2 because you've got this social pressure on yourself. And this social pressure ends up making you change your answer to 3 as well. Now that might seem far-fetched, but actually similar experiments have been done like this, and this has generally been the case. It hasn't been the case for everyone, but you can see between groups who have these sort of conditions. And I've just made that study up there just for ease of understanding. But there've been pretty similar studies out there where they've used this social pressure to change the answer of the actual real person in the group. And it happens because of the social pressure. It makes us question ourselves. It makes us think, well, if everyone else is going for this answer here, then that must mean I'm wrong. And so this is social proof. This is social proof pressure and persuasion as well. And because marketers have started to realize just how potent this technique is, they've actually started to generate fake engagement, fake bots on their YouTube channel. I'm just catching you up to context here in case you've missed the previous videos. And I've covered this in the previous videos where it's very clear they've used fake engagement. It's all a very similar language. We'll take a look into it now. This is one of Iman Gadzhi's videos here. If we scroll down, the comments are overwhelmingly positive and they say similar things as well. I'm 23, totally lost in life. I'm just 19, following your guide. I'm literally 16. I'm 17. I'm 19 and hope to become a millionaire someday. I'm 15, almost 16. I'm 17. That's one of the first ways, by the way, to spot these fake comments. They'll all say the certain same language. In this case, they're all commenting about how old they are. It's not a usual thing to say over a YouTube comment, particularly when it's so common like that. And what you're noticing here is there is more and more people starting to do it. It's still a small minority of people are doing it, but we've got all these 0 to 10K per month entrepreneurs who are teaching courses, and they are all starting to do this sort of stuff. And let's just look at some keywords here to see if we can see it. Let's search the word value, because that seems to be, one of the main things. Real world business value, leading with value, providing actual value, damn crazy value. We have Tim Yoon here who has 9 videos on his channel, 1.4 thousand subscribers, and only 31,000 channel views. And when we click into one of his videos, absolutely overwhelmingly positive comments. You are amazing. Super charismatic. Lost Source was a pure gem. Bro, you are perfect. The energy and the presentation. Pierre Kahuri here with only 15 videos, but 7,000 subscribers. Let's check some of his comments out. Banger. We love you. So excited for this. Learned a lot from this. Fire. Need some outreach stuff. And here's another one from him. So much sauce in this video. You see these keywords here? Love their raw videos. Overwhelmingly positive. Next up we have Yusuf, who's 19 videos and 2,000 subscribers. Let's click into one of his videos. Super valuable, bro. Love it. Got this recommended. Bro's giving out source for free and replying to every comment. Bro posted source. Next up we have Jeffpa. I think that's how you pronounce your name. He has 2,000 subscribers, 33 videos. Let's take a look at one of his videos. Free source demon on the gas, bro. Thanks a lot. Overwhelmingly positive comments, all saying the same sort of thing. Banger, source. These are all the same sort of, language. So it is the small minority of people that are doing this. It's just the marketing community. But they're all doing it. And that begs the question, which people have been asking me, Rob, if you know this stuff, why don't you do it as well? And here's your answer. There is a thing called game theory, which is actually pretty complicated, but I'm gonna break it down on a chessboard just so it's very simple and easy to understand. So, first of all, when you play chess, your objective, let's say you're white, is to checkmate the black king, right? You're gonna do all these moves to checkmate the black king. However, the game theory part comes in that you're actually against an opponent. And when you make a move, the opponent is going to watch what you do and then make a move as well to either counter you or to set up their own checkmate of your king. That is basically game theory, that you have opposing players and there's reactions and, knock-on consequences of you actually making decisions. And that's just a really oversimplified way of describing game theory. But game theory can also apply to real life as well. Let's say you go for a job interview. And when you go for that job interview, it's not just you applying to get that job and speaking to the hiring manager. You've actually got other people as well who are also trying to get the hiring manager's attention. And the game theory comes in that you might have some other candidates who are very supportive of you actually getting that role. You might have other ones who are trying to sabotage you. You might have a hiring manager who actually really likes one of the candidates who already knows them before all the job interview process. This is game theory, right? There's decisions, there's cooperation, there's all sorts of things and knock-on effects and reactions which can happen to you making a single move, which is you trying to get that job, right? That is basically game theory. And these entrepreneurs don't actually understand this. And this game theory is actually one of the reasons why I also don't bot my channel as well. Let me show you why. Let's go back to this example before of where we were talking about social proof. And you decided you wanted chocolate number 2 because basically everyone was telling you how good chocolate number 2 was and everyone was already buying it. Now let's take this example and generalize it over to this YouTube world where we can see a lot of people actually starting to use these fake algorithm hacks, using fake engagement to get as much attention to their channel as possible. And what's happening now is we have chocolate number 3, chocolate number 4, chocolate number 5. They all have people surrounding it like this. All these people are actually telling you how good each of them are. And, you know, there's still a small minority, you know, in comparison to the rest of the YouTube world, right? But there's still, let's just say here, 6 pieces of chocolate, all with amazing reviews. So what happens now is you end up confused. You are confused for 2 reasons. One, because everything is social proofed now. And so you can no longer make your decision on what YouTube channel to choose based on the fact they're all social proofed now. You have to decide by other factors. And what happens as well is you're starting to see, because some of these fake engagements are very, very obvious, you're starting to see that these are actually fake reviews and people are starting to clock onto this. And we've seen comments before where people are like, oh, this whole comment section is now made of YouTube bots. So social proof in this example is actually becoming saturated and it's becoming less and less effective. So it's not working anymore. And also as well, you're seeing all these, and because it's started to get more adoption and people are starting to see it more, your trust level in these ones is actually going down. You are thinking, well, if anything, this is working in reverse because now I know these guys are just hungry for money and they're just botting everything and creating all this fake engagement. So saturation when it comes to persuasion techniques is a very real thing. People get too tolerant to things, right? So if you look at, and this is a good example for you. If you look at an advert which came out years ago, it was Tai Lopez's advert. You've seen him standing in front of his Lamborghini in the garage. He's like, here in my garage, I've got this Lamborghini, right? And what happened was that advert was so viral and it caught loads of attention. And basically people tried to copy that advert. They all got their Lamborghinis and Ferraris and also tried to, you know, essentially copy that advert, but it wasn't as effective for them. And the reason why it wasn't as effective for them is because of game theory, right? Once people have seen it once, that person captures basically all of the market share. And then after they've captured all of the market share there, there's just the drags which everyone else is trying to get. So basically people in that stage were like, well, hold on a minute, I've also got a Lamborghini and I can stand in my garage now as well. And it's just not really working for me as well. I don't understand why. And it's because of game theory, it got saturated. So what happens next? Fast forward, 8 years, we've got Tate who comes out. And Tate can't go for the Lamborghini anymore because everyone is used to the appearance of the Lamborghini. It's no longer got that shock value. This is marketing, guys. This is pure marketing and persuasion stuff I'm giving you right now. And so what happens is he has to get a Bugatti. And then he says, what color is your Bugatti? And then everyone knows Tate has got the Bugatti, right? And then that's an effective message for him. And then people start paying attention to that. And so then what else happens then? People try and copy that. And we've seen lots of people driving around in Bugattis now. And it starts to get less and less effective. So the first movers really get the advantage of that. But what happens is you get all the stragglers which then come along, the copycats, which then try and copy these techniques. And that lowers the effectiveness for everyone, including the first mover as well. And what we're in now is we're in this state where we can see, again, it's just, I don't want to say that it's everyone doing it. It's not everyone doing it. It's a small minority of YouTubers who are trying to hack the algorithm, trying to get these bots working for them and things like this. And so they're doing this, and they're doing this with the intention of trying to convert as many people as possible. And a lot of them are doing it, so it's going to start to become less effective, and it's going to detract away from everyone else. And at that point, because people, the consumers, are starting to clock on the viewers, they're like, hold on a minute, like these comments, they're all weird, right? What's going to happen then is that the real authenticity comes through and people will start to be like, well, who can I trust in this space? And so I'm actually doing my own persuasion techniques at the moment case you didn't notice, and that is showing you all this stuff, right? And I'm trying to do it in an ethical way as possible. And people haven't done this before. This is why people like watching some of the content that I'm doing, and it's like it's resonating with them, is because people are watching my content and they're like, this guy is exposing some of the things which other people are getting away with, and I actually like him for that, right? Because some people might know that this stuff is going on, but they don't want to say it because they want to use the techniques themselves. Do you see what I mean? So they're not incentivized to tell you that, oh, everyone's using bot comments and things like this. They are waiting to use the techniques themselves because they don't want to shoot themselves in the foot and then make something ineffective. So that's number one, the reason why I don't really want to use any of these bot comments or anything like this. And I just want to clarify as well, I'm not a CoffeeZilla. As soon as I made this channel, I started selling on it. I've sold software, I've sold courses. I don't know what I'm going to sell in the future. I've sold consulting, but people like this channel, they message me. I do sometimes get business off of it, but like it's not my main source of income, right? I may want to sell something in the future, but because I've already established with my audience that I'm going to sell to them, no one has a problem with it, right? And I actually don't have a problem with people using these bot comments and fake engagement to get a little bit of traction. I have no problem with that. If you've got like a blank space under your video, like get some of your family and friends to comment underneath it, right? And fill it out a little bit so that other people feel comfortable actually commenting there themselves. I think that's a good technique. I have no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is that these guys are, selling courses on all these techniques which they're saying are the best ways to get clients. Yet what they're doing is the best way to get clients is their YouTube channel, and they're doing all these like persuasion techniques, which are saying how good their course is, which are saying, how amazing their stuff is. And that stuff is not only unethical, it's actually like, I know somebody, they are getting sued for, just debating what I can say here actually. They're getting sued for a lot of money, within the tens of millions, because they've basically been caught using unethical persuasion techniques. And these guys don't realize, right, because they're only building up small businesses, like this is not good. If you get caught for this, you get screwed, right? And I'm seeing this now, and then they like bring in a behavioral psychologist to break down other things that, the person has done unethically. And like, it's just not worth it, right? You can lose your entire business by doing stuff like this. So that's another reason why I wouldn't want to do it. Secondly, as well, I consult for some companies. We were just having this general conversation the other day over, this chat, and they were talking about how they speak to the YouTube team sometimes, and because they have some people in the company, it's a big company, it's does 9 figures, and they have some people in this company which actually communicate with YouTube, like they know some of the staff, like they've just always had a good working relationship together. And YouTube are well aware of people who do this stuff, right? They're not stupid. I don't quite understand how they do it, but they capture the names of the accounts and they wait until some sort of hack becomes more mainstream. And by the point it's become more mainstream, there will have been a lot of different ways that people have come up with to do this hack, right? And so what they do is rather they almost like bait the people into doing more of this technique because they discover all the ways to do it. And then what they do is they shadow ban all those accounts, and not only shadow ban those accounts, they then know all the ways that people have been using this hack and the workarounds they've been using as well. So it's very clever what they're doing. And I think like YouTube's going to come down hard on these accounts, and I don't want to be involved in that, to be honest with you. I'm just, even though this is just kind of a fun channel where I just talk on it and share a little bit with you guys, I don't really want to be involved in that, to be honest. So there are some of the key reasons. But remember, like persuasion tactics and things, they're very nuanced. Sometimes they can be completely ineffective. Sometimes under the right conditions, they can be mega effective, right? But because these guys are doing all this at the moment, it's actually going to shoot themselves in the foot because they're just trying to grow as fast as possible. Life just doesn't work like that. Game theory doesn't work like that, to be honest with you. Persuasion techniques don't work like that either. So if you're thinking of implementing any persuasion techniques into what you're doing, I would just be mindful of some of these things as well. And I would also try your best to be as authentic as possible. On my channel right here, I was talking about before why people like some of the stuff that I do. I've shared like my failures over the years. I've shared like things where things just haven't worked out for me very well. I've shared some of the wins I've had as well. I've shared some of the things which have changed my mind on certain things, some of like the pivotal moments. I've also shared some of the people that I follow, that I like as well. And I've shared a lot of things on this channel, and I think we're in a stage where people are desperately trying to milk as much money as possible, but they're not seeing the long-term picture. They're only looking at short-term. They're looking at, how much cash can I get quickly? And like, dude, business is long. You do not want to have your reputation damaged because you've done all these things and it's coming back to bite you. And, and as well, like, make money a little bit slower and don't be such a scumbag as well. That's what I think. Don't be such a scumbag. We're going to be doing some Q&A soon, and I don't really know whether to, be doing them live. I don't really know what the best format is, or to just record a video with a list of questions and do it that way. Answering any of your persuasion techniques or any other questions you've got for me as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know underneath the video how you got lost in the sauce, how the video was a banger, how you're only 13 years old, going on 14 years old, and how this video completely changed your life and how it inspired you as well. Do me a favor, create those bot comments. I'm just joking. Comment whatever you like, guys. All right, take it easy. See you later.